Okay, I have a story to tell, and some of you may believe it, and some of you may not believe it. And that's up for you, the viewer, to choose whether or not you want to believe it or not. Alright, my name is Adrienne, aka Luna. I've been on this earth for 41 years and 10 days. I'm what they call clairvoyant. People who know me know that I'm the real deal. Have I made mistakes? Absolutely. Have I misguided? Rarely. But for the most part, my dreams are pretty spot on. Okay. Let's come outside. It's actually wet on the chair that I'm sitting on. Alright, so today is July 24th, 2019, just to clarify. Back to my dream from 2001 and why my life has always been very different after that. Alright, so I went to bed, normal, didn't really have anything on my mind, and I dreamt that everything was beautiful. It was like a clear blue, beautiful day. Everything was excellent. Nothing wrong. I remember the dream happened in my mom's bedroom, even though I was sleeping in my own bed in my own apartment at the time. And I remember seeing little kids playing and like a normal summer day, And all of a sudden, I turn into my bedroom for a second, and then I turn back out, and I look, and I see, destruction. And I had this very unusual feeling come over my body in the dream, and I remember feeling, a sense of loneliness and sadness. And I never really dreamed like that, where I'm, so afraid, and I couldn't really, put my mind, my head on, why it felt like this, but when you see where it leads, you'll understand why. Okay, back. So the reason I'm recording right now is to tell a story that happened to me exactly 18 years from this day. If none of you are good at math, the year is 2001, and it starts out like this. All right. My nephew was actually born on the 23rd, for the record. And I went to bed that night. Wait, I gotta backtrack. So I'm clairvoyant in the fact of I have dreams that kind of see the future. All right. I know a lot of people are skeptical, and I'm kind of a topsy-turvy person because I believe in certain things and I don't believe in certain things, like aliens. I don't know, who knows, but certain aspects of life are unbelievable. And you ever say that, that saying, it's just impossible. That's just the way life is with me. The impossible becomes possible. All right, let's backtrack. I've spoken about the fact that I have dreams. All right. So on this day, 18 years ago, I woke up out of a dream, and my life had forever been different. All right, hold on. I'm clearing the rain because it poured yesterday. All right, so and I've been wanting to do this for so long, but I've always been afraid of what people would think of me, that it just kept prolonging my will to do this. But I said, you know what, I've had it. I can't hold on to this anymore. I have to speak about it, and maybe I could help other people out there who have these same premonitions or experiences, or maybe open eyes to people who don't understand, people like me who see things and have no control of it. All right, so back to the dream. I'm scared, afraid. I remember looking around and seeing like everything was like leveled on the floor and kind of burnt, and like smoke smoldering out of the floor. And I remember looking around, like trying to see how much information I could gather from the dream so I could like talk about it when I woke up, and kind of like unravel the mystery behind the dream, because sometimes we have dreams and we really don't know why we have a dream. Like, why do we dream of somebody that we love dying, or why do we dream about a birth, or you know, and some of us have the capability of unraveling the dreams, and this is where I'm going. So I remember looking around and trying to figure out like, can I get any information from this dream? And I remember frantically looking around, and I remember seeing this childhood tree in my yard in my dream, and seeing the leaves on the tree starting to turn from green to brown, but there was only a few leaves, so that signified in my head that it would be like around fall time, all right, that something was gonna happen. And then I remember right before I woke up, I remember looking up at the sky, and I remember seeing nothing but blue. It was like the bluest sky you've ever seen in your life. And I remember thinking like, okay, it's fall and the skies are blue, and how can I unravel this dream? So now, flash forward a couple hours, my mom and dad picked me up to go to visit my nephew upstate I'm not sure if he was born. I think he was born in the Bronx, but like close to White Plains. So we're driving, and my dad is driving, and my mom's in the passenger, and I'm sitting in the back, and I'm thinking about this dream because it's really like it was bothering me, and I don't know why, but like I started talking to my mom and dad, and I'm like, I had a dream last night, and they know like when I see that, like it's like. It's a like they know that either something good is gonna come out of it or something not good is gonna come out of it. So my mom was really inspired to listen, and my dad was kind of like scoffing and saying, oh God, here we go with her dreams, because they're not always good dreams, and that's the sad part. It's like sometimes I have great dreams that predict really nice fun things, and sometimes I have terrible dreams that predict things that people don't want to know about. Okay, so we're driving, and I say to my mom and my dad, I had a dream last night. Eye rolls, Mom, what? And I said, and I remember specifically, and as God is my witness, we were driving over the Gowanus, which if you're from New York, you know that the Gowanus overlooks the whole Manhattan city skyline. And I remember just saying, it's not good. And I remember saying to them, I had a terrible dream last night, and something really bad is about to happen to Manhattan, to the city. I didn't say Manhattan, I said the city. I said something really bad is about to happen here, and thousands of people are gonna die, and it's gonna happen on a clear blue sky, and it's gonna happen around fall time, because in my dream I saw like the leaves on the tree changing. And my mom and my father were just like why? And I explained to them the dream that I had and the sequence in the dream, and how horrified I felt. I felt so scared, and I don't know why I felt so scared, but that's just the impression that this dream specifically left on me. And I just kept talking about it to everyone, like I knew like something really bad's about to happen, like really bad. And I got to a point where I thought I was kind of like losing my mind, but I knew I wasn't, because, you know, like I know I have this clairvoyance and I could see things before they happen. And if you know me, you would understand more about like how this works. But this dream really impressed me that bad. And I mean, this was in July that we're starting to talk about it. And by mid-August, I'm literally like losing my mind, going, something's got to give, like this is happening, something terrible is about to take place. And nothing I could say or do. We didn't have social media at the time. Computers were a rarity. Like there really wasn't like much internet or ways to express yourself like there are now. Like I'm expressing myself to you guys right now and explaining to you how unbelievably horrified one person was feeling before September 11th. Okay, and as the day crept closer, my level of craziness was getting worse, because I knew it was coming and there was nothing I could do to stop it. And I remember one day specifically, because leading up to that day I kept seeing the word ash, ASH. And I remember saying, like, what does that mean? Why do I keep seeing the word ash? Like, why? Like, it obviously is significant to people who are burning, but I couldn't, like, wrap my finger around it. Like, I couldn't say, like, but it kept, everywhere I looked, it would be a license plate or it would be on a piece of paper. Wherever I would look, I would see that word ash, and I was like freaking out because I'm like, this is getting close. And I remember one day coming home from work in September, my first week back at work, and I remember just seeing the word ARB, ARA, and I'm like, what? These words are like on license plates, and they keep coming like in my, like right in front of me, and I'm not one who like specifically like looks for license plates, but every time I would look, I would see the word either ASH or ARA, ARB, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And I remember going home one day and telling my boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, something really bad's gonna happen. And I really want to tell somebody. I want to go tell the policeman. I want to tell the fireman. I want to tell the mayor. I want to tell the president. And he said to me, you can't do that because they're going to think you're crazy and lock you in. They're going to lock you away in a straitjacket and put you in a room. And I regret that because I feel like the agony it's caused me after has been so much worse than if I would have told somebody and said something. It's caused me so much grief, and I know it caused everyone else grief, but to know something and not be able to stop it is terrible. And I'm sorry for breaking down so bad because I'm like a very emotional person, but this has been, living this has been like the most terrible thing that I could explain. I can't, it's like so hard to explain it unless you lived it. And I've lived through it, and to see when it happened that day, and this is gonna sound so bad, but when it happened, I was actually relieved that I wasn't crazy. I'm sorry. I feel so terrible for everything that happened, and all the people and the families who suffered, and the people who died and didn't get to live to see another day. I'm so sorry. Could I have stopped it? No. People were gonna do what they were gonna do. But at least I could have given like a forewarning, like, guys, just be aware. When I was explaining it to my mom and dad and telling them, like, something really terrible is going to happen in the city, thousands of people are going to die, and it's going to cause ash throughout the city, and it's going to be like something we've never seen before. And I remember saying that. I remember saying it's going to cause ash throughout the city. It's going to cause ash through the city. And You didn't have to live it to see what it did. But to say that, like, it's gonna cause ash, and it's gonna be like something we've never seen before. Let that sink in. Alright, I had to regroup and regroup myself. So another phenomenal thing that happened, because like I said, leading up until the day, it was like little signs and things that, like, when I look back in hindsight, like, all the pieces of the puzzle were there. I just couldn't put them together at that time. I was young. I was in my early 20s. I mean, you know what I mean? I was 22? No, 20. How old was I? 23? I just turned 24. Just turned 24 10 days before that. So, which is, like, I didn't think about it, but the 24th, and I was 24. But, another significant thing that happened, and I know a lot of people wouldn't believe this. I probably am like 60% with the team that doesn't believe it, but I have to tell my story, and whether or not you believe it or not, it's up to you. I can't force somebody to believe something that I'm telling you, because you know what? Most of the time people are bullshit. Sorry, it's true, but this is 100% authentic and the reality that I live. About a week or so before September 11, 2001, my then boyfriend and I went to St. Paul's Cathedral, and we were in the city. We were actually in the city, had a great day. We brought black and white film with us, and we went and just, you know, back then we didn't have, like, where you could just change your camera to take black and white pictures. We had to, like, you know, use film that did that. So anyway, so we went to the city, had a great, fantastic, fun time. And we were in front of St. Paul's Cathedral, which my husband's name is Paul, and we were taking pictures and, you know, snapping shots or whatever. And I remember I was sitting on a bench looking up at the World Trade, and you had, like, the most beautiful, spectacular view of the World Trade Center right there. And this eerie feeling came over me, and I don't know why, but these words slipped out of my mouth. And again, I know most of you won't believe this, but this is my reality. I remember looking up at the World Trade and just having, like, this weird vision come over me, and thinking, like, and this literally fell out of my lip to my husband, boyfriend at the time. And when I almost get there, like, I remember looking up and I remember saying, can you imagine if anything ever crashed into the World Trade Center? And his immediate response was, like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why would you say that? And I remember just thinking to myself, like, and, like, kind of, like, shaking my head, like, I don't know why that just came out of my mouth. I don't know what is going on in my head, but this is the world that I lived in, and I'm sure people have thought that before, and people have envisioned some crazy shit going down, because they did try to blow up the World Trade from the bottom. I think it was like 93 and 97 was another one. I know for a fact it was like 97. I'm not sure factually, but I remember it happening because I did work in the World Trade for a couple months back in the 90s, and I want to say 97. I worked there for 3 months in Oppenheimer. I loved my job. I just didn't love the hustle and bustle of waking up early in the morning and going to the city every day. It wasn't my lifestyle. I became a teacher instead, and that's my passion. But why would somebody say that? And then, you know, flash forward a week later, it was like literally almost a week later, and then obviously everyone who's alive pretty much knows the gravity of how serious that situation was, and that happening. And when I say that I was relieved, I don't mean I was relieved to see
our city get destroyed. I was relieved to know that I wasn't crazy, because that last like month and a half was just so grueling for me. And for all those people who are out there who are clairvoyant or see things or have intuitions or feel things inside, go with it. You know, if you have that gut feeling about something that you're not sure of, you know, who cares if people think you're crazy? We're all crazy. Who fucking cares? We're all a little not wrapped up too tight sometimes, and you know what? That's fine. And the people who know me and love me, they're the people who matter. And the people who judge me, whatever. You're being judged too. You have to answer to somebody too. You know, we're all walking that tightrope every day, and we're all afraid of skeptical people or criticism, but we're so critical about everybody. You know, like, take a step back, look at your own reflection, stop being so unopen to people. You know. All right. Well, that was my story, and I'm sticking to it. Peace. Oh, and this is a fucked up one, and I wish I knew somebody who the person was, because I'm not gonna lie, back in the day, ecstasy was a thing. And did I dabble? Absolutely. Do I now? No. I mean, when you're in your 20s, I think it's okay to like experiment and try things out, but there's also reasons why the FDA doesn't approve recreational use of ecstasy. And I think for people like me who have like visions and can see things before they happen, this is the reason why. So one night, I don't remember exactly when it was probably around Mayish, and this is something that is so fucked up. I was tripping on ecstasy. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. And I had this, I don't even know if I'm allowed to tell this, that I'm tripping on ecstasy, but I had this, like, wave come over me. But for anyone who's tripped out, most of the time, you don't remember everything that happens. But I remember this in hindsight again, looking back. And I remember going into like, you know, your eyes are rolling and your head goes down and you're feeling like really great and grand. And then all of a sudden I went, they're gonna knock the World Trade Center down. And I jumped up. And my friend who I was standing with, and I honestly cannot remember who it was so long ago, but I remember her going, what? And I remember it was a girl. I remember her going, what? And I said, they're gonna knock the World Trade Center down. And I remember pointing at her and getting like so pissed off. And I don't know who that they are, but I know that they are gonna knock the World Trade Center down. And again, it's in like May of 2001. Like, this is before like anyone knew anything. And I remember that person looking at me and going, Age, you're freaking me out. And like, please stop. And I don't know why I said it. I don't know what came over me, but I remember saying that. And then it went away. And then, again, flash forward. And there's nothing I could do about it. But I wanted to tell my story. And I wanted to say it. And I've been... People might think, like, why wouldn't you tell this before? Like, this is so intriguing. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is a story. I'm a pretty relatively, like, not private person, but I'm not somebody who, like, you know, wants my life out there and wants people to judge me and people to like criticize me and say negative things like, oh, she's a witch, or oh, she's a bitch, or oh, she's crazy, or whatever. You know, like, I'm not like that type of person, because I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. Everyone has a battle. Everyone's, you know, waking up every day and trying to just make it through another day, or, you know, and we're all struggling. Life is really rough, you know, and when you throw in like, you know, crazy like thoughts or, you know, visions that, you know, we can't control, you don't want people being ultra like mean or negative and ruining your spirit, because I mean, I've seen tabloids, and I love tabloids. I think they're great. I peek at them when I'm on the line waiting for the cashier to ring me out at ShopRite, and they catch my eye, like George Clooney and his wife are having twins again, and they're getting divorced the week before, and they're remarried. Like, it's like, well, like, nonsense. Like, and people buy into it. I love people who buy these things. Like, National Enquirer is like such a load of bullshit most of the time. Like, Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher broke up like 75 times already. They've been together since like the 90s, like 98, when I met my husband. You know, like, it's crazy to me. Like, and people literally like buy into it and believe it. Come on. Really? If you listen to this long, I appreciate you, and whether or not you believe me or not, that's up to you. I can't force anyone to believe me. I really don't care whether people believe me or not. Like, that's just the type of person I am. Like, I know what I do. That's it. Peace, love, happiness. You know, give people a break and let people give you one too. Take care. Peace out.